Almost sad. A place I used to call home. I don't know if I was a girl with imaginary friends. Mom? Let me know in the comments. I did have some real ones, and I also had an imagination, so the ingredients were there. I do remember, though, a longtime companion with whom I'm still friends today. My pain. Growing pains, growing pains, growing pains, growing pains, growing pains, growing pains, growing pains. I've outgrown my pain. Not demised or despised, but alchemized to fertilize. It used to sit at the pit of my pursuits. Now it rests at my roots as I upshoot and bear fruit. So sweet. Take off your soul's shoes and let me rub your feet. My pain has always been there, sometimes beneath, sometimes burying, sometimes buttressing my joy. Over the winter, this pain seared as part of me died, violently, dramatically. For months, that sensation hijacked my consciousness. I felt physically like I was dying, and the pain of it made death feel desirable. Sweet relief. Thanks to my ride and not die homies / family, I made it to February. At this point, the tightness of pain gave way to the expanse of pleasure. And it is in this expanse that I've been living, God bless, for 2 months. And I'm not leasing this new lease on life. I paid for it in cold, hard cash. My name is on that deed, and I plan on this newfound joy being my children's inheritance. And still. Do you ever wake up and feel almost sad? It happens to me now and then, sometimes more than I'd like. I wake up without my usual spark. I can still see the beauty in the world, but I can't feel it, so the whole day hums with this dull ache. I'm not quite sad, not yet. There's no trigger, no clear reason, but sadness hovers, whispering somberly and seductively nearby. It would be enough to simply feel that. But my overachieving brain goes looking for evidence. If I'm not 100% myself, I start hunting for a reason, scavenging my circumstances for something to blame. And when I find it, real or imagined, I scold myself for getting into this state. Suddenly, sadness has a reason to be here. It takes the mic, and I go from almost sad to just sad, with a sprinkle of shame for not showing up as my high energy, high love, high presence self. God, it's exhausting. It's so exhausting. I hadn't felt that way in a while. I've been buoyed by the daily joy, people I love, things that give me purpose. Until Tuesday. Why is it always a Tuesday? Almost sadness greeted me in the morning. From the outside, it looked like this. 1, slowness. The drapes stayed closed a little longer. 2, indecisiveness. I changed my outfit 3 times. 3, absent-mindedness. Spilled coffee grounds, misplaced items, compulsively refreshing my email. 4, looping. My morning journaling was practical and cyclical, not poetic or lyrical. And now that I'm writing this, I realize the difference between waking up almost sad or not often comes down to where I wake up, meaning in my head or in my body. If I'm in my head, I'm prone to spiraling. If I'm in my body, I can feel the blessing of breath, of blood, of skin. I can feel here. And that Tuesday, I stayed mostly alone all day. It wasn't until the evening when my dear friend Noah called that I spoke out loud. He asked how I was doing, and I said, almost sad. And in that moment, something shifted. I noticed how familiar that phrase felt familiar, family, or like family. And I also noticed that my relationship to it had changed. I didn't try to fix it. I just let it be. I stayed with it tenderly, knowing that if I honored it, tomorrow might be different. And it was. Note, this strategy is contingent upon wanting a tomorrow. Earlier this year, I wasn't convinced. Now, yes, please, again and again and again, amen, amen, amen. I was still almost sad Wednesday, but less so. Then even less so Thursday. But what struck me most was how at home I had felt in my sadness and almost sadness. I'm going to add that, and full out sadness. So familiar, so at home, like slipping on an old pair of shoes. Which brings me to something I've been exploring lately in my poems, performances, and ponderings. Just because something is comfortable doesn't mean it's good for you. Many of us, myself included, acclimate to discomfort, to dysfunction, to pain. We learn to navigate life through it, so much so that we begin to recreate it, even when it's no longer necessary. But as I said, I'm trying to build a different kind of inheritance for my children and their children and so on, an inheritance of joy. So I have to think about interest, not just emotional, but generational. What is in our best interest? What will give us the best return on the investment of this life, my life? I want to pay it forward. My pain holds impressions molded perfectly to my body, my former body, and I'm growing. No longer fits. So I'm upgrading my wardrobe. I'm making all this interest in my investment in joy that I could afford a new pair of shoes entirely. But I think I'm going to rock the bare feet for a while. My feet have calluses that I've worked hard for. They're strong, grounded, and cute. Wiggly. I won't throw away my pair of pain. Perhaps I'll put them on my shelf in the soul, or carry them around with me as a good luck charm, or a reminder of how much I've grown. Almost sad used to be my home. Now it's just a guest who knows to take off its shoes. Have you outgrown your pain? Where do you call home? Do you have a bone to pick with me about mixing the shoe metaphor with investment opportunities? Please, by all means, let a girl know. I love to hear your musings in any form. Leave a comment. If you like what you're hearing, you could subscribe on my Substack, which link is in the description, I think. Mwah.